The Cool Contraption Guy with Tom Fox, workshop editor for Boys Quest and Fun for Kids magazines, presents Make a Toy Rocket-Propelled Car and Learn about Rocket Propulsion.
We made the toy car with these Lego pieces shown here. Notice, we used the smallest Lego wheels we could find for this project. We found that this worked best here. We also used a good quality straw, a good quality balloon, used a white one here. We needed some electrical tape to fasten down the balloon straw combination, and then we used some nice colored red duct tape to seal the area between the straw and the balloon so the air wouldn't come out. The actual making of this project goes together quite quickly, as you can see. Now the probably only trick in this project is to seal area between the balloon and the straw so air doesn't leak out. Here we will use duct tape. In other toy cars we built, we've used rubber bands. This seems to work best. Now you got to make sure it's sealed well, and after you try it you might want to reseal it if there's air coming out. Now you have to attach it, of course, to the car, and we've used you can use rubber bands. Here we're using just electrical tape. Duct tape is a little bit big, but you could have just used duct tape to do this part too, especially if you strip it a little narrower. But this is easier, and it does the job. And you know, that's about it. That's the project. Of course, we will show how to use it in a second.
More.
Looks like now we have some cat spectators watching what's going on here. Looks like Tempe, that's the cat's name, is curious here, but he's kind of a fraidy cat.
That's right away.
Our rocket-propelled toy car uses a blown-up balloon as an energy source and air as the propellant, while a typical rocket engine uses an oxidizer and fuel as the energy source and hot gases as the propellant. However, the basic principle of rocket propulsion is exactly the same. Before we go into more discussion on rocket propulsion, we will show a short video clip featuring this cardboard box. Here we have this box. Now I'll put my hands inside the box and apply a force with both my right and my left hands. Now right now I have equal force pushing on my right on my left hand. My left hand is pushing to the left, my right hand is pushing to the right. Now if I increase my right hand force on the box here, it moves to the right. I increase my left hand, it moves to the left. Right now, the box is not moving. This means the two forces are approximately equal. Now, we will keep this approximately equal, then I'll quickly remove my left hand from this box, and we'll see what happens. In this top drawing, we have a railroad tank car with pressurized nitrogen inside. The blue arrows represent the internal forces from the pressurized nitrogen. Notice these forces are pushing out equally towards the sky and the ground, toward you and away from you, and most importantly, for our discussion, toward the left and the right. As we saw in the video clip on the cardboard box, the tank car remains stationary since the forces pushing it to the right equal the forces pushing it to the left. One thing unusual with this tank car is that its back is removable. It is held on to the rest of the tank by electrical solenoids. When power is removed to these solenoids, the back will come off. This bottom drawing shows this tank car 1/100th of a second after power is removed to the solenoids and the back comes off. Now notice the tank car has moved to the right, and as indicated by the dirt thrown up by the wheels, it is still moving. Why does it move now? Well, as indicated by the blue arrows, the gas is pushing the tank car to the right, and this is most important. While the blue arrows to the left indicate pressurized gases, the part of the tank car that they were pushing against is no longer there. And so there's no force to the left exerted by the gases, only forces to the right. This is the same principle shown in our video clip on the cardboard. Here we show a rocket engine's combustion chamber and nozzle. The design of the nozzle is very important in order to achieve a high efficiency rocket engine. Notice we now have arrows which, like before, represent force, but these arrows are of different colors. The red colored arrows represent gases in the combustion chamber that are directly pushing the rocket forward. The green arrows don't help with providing forward thrust, since the forces they produce are equal and opposite, so they cancel each other out. The gray arrows indicate the forces from the gases, which are pointed backwards, although at an angle, and actually slow the rocket's progress. Now the pink arrows are quite important, even though they aren't as large as the red arrows and they are not pointing directly toward the left. They are important because there are so many of them, which is because the surface area of the nozzle is larger than the front part of the combustion chamber. While these pink arrows aren't pointed directly toward the left, there is a definite left component to the force they exert, which means they do provide significant thrust to the rocket. Notice no mention here of using the law of conservation of momentum. Keep in mind that this law, like most other physical laws, is invaluable when making practical calculations concerning rockets, but are of little use in understanding the basic physics of rocket propulsion. In this instance, the basic physics, as described here, provides a much more intuitive feel for how a rocket actually works. While every experiment so far has confirmed the law of conservation of momentum, I am reminded on how the law of conservation of energy had to be modified around 100 years ago. It is now called the law of conservation of mass energy. Also, the law of conservation of parity seemed to be etched in stone until 1956, when the National Bureau of Standards demonstrated that it does not hold in the beta decay of cobalt-60 nuclei. I would really appreciate it if you would watch my other YouTube videos on my Cool Contraption Guy and Magic Land Farms YouTube channels. Thanks for watching.